Is your grandmother a bit of a nosy Parker? Can your mother be a bit full on? Have you got someone at work that's rather cocky? When was the last time you made a dog's dinner of something? Or what about the last time someone was talking a load of Codswallop? If you'd like to know what these phrases and more mean, then keep watching. In today's lesson, we will be looking at 50 of the most popular British slang phrases and expressions. Some quintessentially British expressions, and obviously some that are rather strange. So keep watching to learn more and to broaden your vocabulary. For those of you that really want to improve your vocabulary, particularly when it comes to more spoken colloquial English, there are so many ways you can achieve this. 1. Watch our YouTube lessons. 2. Speak with native people. Learn English with a native teacher. Or you can find ways to immerse yourself in the English language, whether that's through television, reading, or in the case of our incredible partners of today's lesson, Sensations English, you might choose to read, watch videos, and of course, learn through exercises and games. It is not enough to simply read or watch television, but by doing exercises to accompany these activities, and even better, games, you'll not only be enjoying learning English, but you'll also be learning it more effectively because you're enjoying it. Sabra and I have chosen to partner with Sensations English because as experienced language teachers, we know the benefits of having access to an interactive platform where you can learn at your own pace, test your level, and immerse yourself in interesting, authentic, up-to-date articles and content that are not only going to broaden your knowledge, but also your vocabulary. There are hundreds of lessons in 5 different levels. So if you think that Sensations English might be too difficult for you, choose the easier level to start with and see how you progress through the levels as you practice. There is always new content, with 3 lessons being added per week in 5 different levels. So even if you want to choose one lesson, the easier level, and then work your way up to the more difficult level to challenge yourself and to see how fast you can improve, then this is an option for you. It is up to you. It is your own guidance and knowing how you study best. So how much does this cost? Well, that's actually one of the best things about Sensations English. It is incredibly affordable. With subscriptions as low as €4.85 per month, you are really going to be spending, the cost of a Starbucks coffee on materials that are going to help you learn throughout the month, day by day, level by level. And at the moment, you can learn for free. You can use the Sensations platform for free. You've got 7 days of free access to content, whether that's video, articles, or audio. It's perfect. So why not click the link below and try the 7-day free trial. Do comment and let us know. Sensations English is a new partner for us and we would love some feedback. So there's no excuse. You can go right now, pay nothing, enjoy it for a week, and share your experience with us. Now, before you go to Sensations English to learn new expressions and vocabulary, I've got plenty to teach you right now. In fact, I have got 50 British English slang expressions and phrases to teach you. Some of them are in fact informal, but be careful because some of them can be quite rude. So be careful who you direct these expressions towards, whether you're talking about someone with another person or whether you're directly addressing a person. Just be aware of how rude some of these expressions could be. And of course, some of them are a little bit vulgar. Right, let's start with one of the best topics when it comes to slang expressions, describing people. Yes, there are lots of wonderful, creative and quirky, meaning strange, ways to describe people in English. using some of these slang expressions. Number 1, to be a sandwich short of a picnic. A sandwich short of a picnic. As strange as it may seem, we still use this expression regularly. Essentially, we're referring to someone being a little bit crazy or maybe stupid. And yes, it can be quite insulting, so be careful how and where and when you use it. She's okay, but she's a sandwich short of a picnic, if you know what I mean. Number 2, to be a nosy Parker. A nosy Parker. Now, when you call someone nosy, you are essentially saying that they are interested in other people's business when really they shouldn't be. They are curious and want to know what's going on in other people's lives, and it isn't any of their business. So if you call someone or refer to somebody as a nosy Parker, you're saying they're the kind of person that really put their nose where it doesn't belong. Don't be such a nosy Parker. I'm not telling you how much I earn. Now, this one is actually probably a little bit sexist. It's referring only to women or perhaps young girls when they expect other people to do exactly what they want or how they want it to be done. She's a proper little madam. She's a right little madam. Either of those expressions means the same thing. She is a proper little madam. She was adamant that I had to lay the table exactly as she wanted it. And she's 5. Have you ever found somebody that was rather difficult to deal with, difficult to please perhaps? If you refer to somebody as a right so-and-so, you're referring to them as being rather difficult but trying not to insult someone too badly. I heard you had an argument with the man round the corner shop. Don't worry, he's a right so-and-so. Now, oddly enough, a very similar expression actually means that you think someone is clever or interesting. You old so-and-so. You old so-and-so. You managed to get an extra day working from home. Oh, you old so-and-so. Number 6, a lovely adjective when you want to avoid calling someone stupid or an idiot. It's much more endearing, softer way to say you're stupid. Rather, you can say, oh, you Wally, you Wally, what a Wally. Don't be a Wally, you don't need to drink that much tonight. Really, you're going to feel sick in the morning. Right, number 7, and this really is one that I use a lot to describe a particular member in my family, although I'm not telling you who. This expression is used to describe somebody that is mean with money, that doesn't like to share or spend their money easily, and certainly doesn't want to be paying for things. A tight ass. A tight ass. It sounds bizarre, but yeah, it's a very common expression. For example, she wasn't willing to pay for the meal. She's such a tight ass. Her boyfriend had to pay for everything. Now, number 8, if you refer to somebody as being toffee nosed, it doesn't mean they've got a sweet, sugary nose. No, no, no. It simply means they're a bit snobbish, stuck up. They think they're better than other people. So if you say Mrs. Smith down the road is a little bit toffee nosed, she always likes to brag about how expensive her cars and jewellery are, then you're saying you think she's a snob. She's stuck up and she thinks she's better than other people. It's pretty strong, so don't use it directly to somebody's face. It's just a really nice and simple way of explaining the behaviour, the personality of an individual. Number 9, something that I have often been accused of, can't think why, to be gobby or to have a gob on you. Now, gob is your mouth. And can you guess what it means? Yes, it means you're very outspoken and probably quite loud. Really can't understand why people would call me gobby. It is rather vulgar, so again, it can be quite insulting if you use it directly to somebody's face. And to be honest, it's probably quite true. I am a little bit opinionated and loud. I don't shy away from saying what I think. So you might say, oh, she is so gobby after a couple of drinks. She just keeps talking and has no problem saying exactly what she thinks. Number 10, if somebody is full on, you're describing them as being rather intense. So at Christmas time, if all the family gather, there's always one member of the family that's pretty full on, that might be a little bit too much to take, either because they're gobby, full of energy, or simply have so many questions about your life that you really think they're a bit of a nosy Parker. His new girlfriend is a little bit full on. She keeps bombarding me with questions, meaning asking a lot of questions. Comment below, let me know who's the most full-on character in your family. Number 11, if somebody's rather strange, their behavior is a little bit peculiar, not quite the normal, then you might describe them as a bit of an oddball. You can say an oddball, but often we'd say a bit of an oddball to soften the expression a little bit. So strange, weird, or eccentric. The old man down the road is a bit of an oddball. He doesn't seem to go out at all and doesn't smile when you walk past. Total oddball. Number 12, I am teaching you one here that's a little bit vulgar. To be cocky, a cocky git, or a bit cocky. Now, cock actually refers to a part of the male anatomy. I'll leave it to your judgment to guess which part. So when you're describing somebody as being cocky, usually a guy, you're talking about them being arrogant, overly confident. Sam's a little bit cocky. He's always talking about how much money he's earning. So there we have it. Great expressions to help you describe people. Now, emotions and behaviors. We don't just need to say angry, annoyed, shocked. No, there are lots of expressions in slang that we can use to describe our emotions and behaviors more creatively, shall we say. So instead of saying that somebody got a bit angry, you could say that they got a little bit shirty. Yes, to get a bit shirty is to get angry. When I asked him to double check if the booking was made correctly, he got a little bit shirty with me. Now, I've already taught you what gob means, but how many of you know the expression to be gobsmacked? Gobsmacked. Yes, if you smack your gob, please don't do it. It simply means that you are shocked. Think about it. So when you're shocked, you can say, I was gobsmacked when I heard your news. Congratulations. So it can be positive or negative. It's not necessarily one or the other. 13 is one that I have referred to before in previous lessons, but it is so commonly used that I have to use it in this section looking at emotions and behaviours. To be gutted. I was absolutely gutted I didn't get into the university of my choice. To be very disappointed. Number 14, when someone gets a little bit grumpy, perhaps because they're not getting their own way, you can say that they are in a bit of a strop. To be in a bad mood about something. What's wrong with her? She's in a right strop. Oh, her dad wouldn't lend her the money she wanted. Oh, she's a right little madam. Right, number 15, I'm giving you two expressions because one of them is rather vulgar. If you want to refer to somebody as annoying you, as being irritating, yes, you get very annoyed by their behavior or whatever it is they're doing, you could say, oh, they really get up my nose. Or, and yes, commonly used by me, is, oh, they are really getting on my tits. Now, tits is a very vulgar term for breasts, for boobs. So use this phrase, this expression very carefully and in the right situation. You wouldn't use it directly talking to somebody, and you certainly shouldn't use it in formal situations. So if someone gets on your tits or gets right up your nose, they are irritating you and annoying you quite a lot. She did not stop talking through the movie. She was really getting on my tits. Number 16, an expression that my grandmother and I both use quite frequently, more to help us calm down and realise that perhaps we're getting a little bit stressed and anxious for no reason. And of course, it can also mean a little bit angry. To get your knickers in a twist. To get your knickers in a twist. Now imagine if your knickers were in a twist. Knickers, by the way, are what we refer to as female underwear. So pants would be for guys in British English, and knickers would be for girls. So if you got your knickers in a twist, literally, it would be very uncomfortable and you would be rather annoyed. But in this case, we're not talking literally. It is an expression, slang, to express that you're rather anxious, annoyed, or perhaps a little bit angry. Oh, come on, don't get your knickers in a twist. It's not that big a deal. Emotions and behaviours, we cannot leave this one out of the list, to be knackered. I referred to it in my previous lesson on slang words, but in this lesson I just got to include it really quickly. You need to know it. If you didn't watch my previous lesson, then you might not realise what this means. To be knackered is to be extremely tired, and yes, I do use it regularly. You will hear it in films, in television series, and amongst native English speakers. Oh, I was so knackered after being on my feet all day at work. I just had to have a lie down. The alternative, remember, is cream crackered, Cockney rhyming slang. Cream crackered, knackered. I was cream crackered after playing football, never happened. I was cream crackered after playing football all day, so I had a nice hot bath. Now, arse, pronounce it with me, arse, is a very British slang word. We use it in so many different colourful ways. Of course, in American English, they're more likely to use ass, but we would say arse. It does make you sound rather British. So, 3 expressions that we use with arse. 1, I can't be arsed. I can't be asked, meaning I can't be bothered. I don't want to do something. Oh, I really can't be asked to go and see my mother today. I'm just a bit cream crackered. 19, to be arsey is to be difficult, in a bad mood, and uncooperative. Whoa, she was a bit arsey today. What's wrong with her? She wouldn't help me out at all. Or if you're referring to someone as an arse, you're basically saying that they're behaving in a rather stupid and unacceptable way. You were really rude at dinner last night. You were such an arse. Number 21, if you lord it over someone, to lord it over someone. Now, lord is a kind of noble aristocratic, that's the word, aristocratic title. So you can be Lord and Lady Snowdon, like the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. So lord is a title, lord the masculine, lady the feminine. If someone says that you lorded it over them, it means that you acted in a way that shows you feel superior to that person or people, or perhaps to boss someone around. He's always lording it over his little brothers and sisters and getting them to do all the boring jobs around the house. Those poor kids. 22. Again, another one that I've included before, but as we are looking at behaviours and emotions, to take the piss or to take the mickey out of somebody. To make fun of someone or to mock them. So it really is a horrible way to behave. They were taking the piss out of her for the dress she wore on her date. She really did look like Minnie Mouse. 23, to skive off. To skive off. Now, do comment below and let me know if any of you have ever behaved and done this thing. So to skive off is to avoid working or going to school. So basically, I called up work and skived off, told them I had a headache. I just could not face going into the office. To skive off. 24, to do a runner. To do a runner. To run away, to escape from a person or situation. Her husband did a runner. Now she's on her own with 2 kids. Terrible. What an arse. 25, to nick something. To nick something. To nick something means that you steal. It is commonly used in spoken, informal English. She nicked a chocolate bar from the shops without her mum knowing, and her mum made her walk back and apologise and give back the chocolate bar. Now, it can also be slang for being arrested by the police. He was nicked for, I don't know, driving whilst drunk. Right, our next slang topic, work and results. Work and results. Now, number 26, my boss actually used in our last meeting. Dog's dinner, a dog's dinner, and specifically to make a dog's dinner of something. Simply meaning to make a complete mess of something. And we're not necessarily talking about a physical mess, but rather making a big mistake. So for example, I made a right dog's dinner of the presentation today at work. I don't think anybody understood what I was talking about. You can also look like a dog's dinner, and do be careful because clearly this is going to be very insulting. Sarah went to the party looking like a right dog's dinner. I didn't have the heart to tell her. Number 27, and I think this is one of my husband's favourites, to not be able to organise a piss-up in a brewery. Now, let me explain the vocabulary in this sentence. Piss-up is referring to an event where everybody gets together and gets very drunk. To get pissed means to get drunk, so a piss-up means a party, a celebration of some sort where everyone gets very, very drunk. And a brewery is where they make beer. So if you can't organise lots of people to get drunk in a brewery where they make the actual beer, then clearly your organisation skills are pretty poor. Now, we don't necessarily use this literally in a sense of talking about parties, etc. No, we can talk about it in terms of work or day-to-day life. Michael was in charge of the travel arrangements, but honestly, he couldn't organise a piss-up in a brewery. He made such a dog's dinner of it. 28, to do a bodge job. To repair something badly or unprofessionally. She put a shelf up by herself and wow, what a bodge job. Everything just rolled right off it. Now, similarly to bodge job, you can also say a cock-up or a right cock-up. Now again, you know this word is pretty vulgar, so better to stick with bodge job, but of course you might hear what a cock-up. Pretty strong, very vulgar, so be careful when you use it. It means to make a mistake, to get it wrong. And pretty big, much bigger than bodge job. She got the times of the flight wrong and we missed it. What a cock-up. Number 30, if something is pants, you're saying that it's rubbish, really, really bad. That film was pants. I didn't enjoy it at all, and how predictable. Now 31, all referring to something being easy. Easy. To be a doddle, to be a piece of cake, or more vulgar, to be a piece of piss. Now piss is referring in a very vulgar way to urine, wee. So it doesn't sound very nice, and you would make sure that you use it in very informal situations. In fact, avoid using it if you can. That exam was a doddle. Why did we need to study so hard? Don't worry, you'll pass the test. It's a piece of piss. 32, to be a faff. Faff is a great British slang expression. It can mean to faff around, meaning to waste time doing something and not be very productive. But if something is a faff, it means it's too much effort or bother. Oh, do you really want to go to London for your birthday? It is such a faff to organise everything, sort out the transport, pay for the hotel. Really? And 33, I was jumping the gun a little bit there. I was getting ahead of myself. To faff about, to waste time, to spend time doing stuff that really is not very productive. She was faffing about getting ready. It took her an hour and we were late for the movie. Now moving on. Expressions in slang to talk about certain situations. Number 34, to take the biscuit, to take the biscuit. When a situation is made worse by somebody usually taking advantage. Well, that really takes the biscuit. He couldn't even fix the car and now I get this massive bill in? Come on. Number 35, sod's law. Sod's law. Now this is actually the slang informal expression taken from Murphy's Law. It's more common for us to use sod's law in British English than it is to say Murphy's Law. Now basically Murphy's Law suggests that when something can go wrong, it usually does. We spent a fortune going on holiday and sod's law, it rained every day. Number 36, if something goes a bit pear-shaped, it goes very, very wrong. I made a cake for your birthday, but it's gone a bit pear-shaped and basically it looks a little bit like a volcano. Number 37, bog standard. Bog standard. If something is bog standard, it means it's very ordinary and of basic quality. I needed a black uniform for work, so I went to the shops and just bought a bog standard t-shirt. Number 38, to be in a pickle. In a pickle. Essentially, if you're in a bit of a pickle, you are in a difficult, problematic situation. I'm in a bit of a pickle. I borrowed my husband's car the other night and got a scratch on it. Help! What do I do? Number 39, jammy. Jammy. And no, we're not talking about the sweet stuff that you put on your toast for breakfast, jam. No, we are talking about being lucky. And really unfairly lucky. You don't deserve that luck. He wasn't even trying to score a goal. The ball just bounced off his head. Jammy. Now you can also refer to somebody as being a Jammy Git, which again, Git is kind of informal slang and quite insulting, so avoid using it too often. But if you call someone a Jammy Git, usually referring to a gentleman, not a woman, then you're essentially saying in a kind of banter, friendly way, it's not too rude, that they've been unfairly lucky. His new girlfriend is so attractive. What a Jammy Git. Right, coming towards the end, the last 10, looking at talking and communication. Number 40, to grass someone up. To grass someone up. Or actually, you could say dob someone in, which is 44, and it basically means to tell on someone, to inform somebody else that's in a position of authority. So it might be that you dob your little brother in for breaking the vase, or you could grass someone up because they did something illegal. She grassed him up to the police and he was nicked. You can also call somebody a grass. Again, very insulting, not very nice, so avoid using it, but basically it's referring to a person who does dob someone in or grass someone up. In fact, you can call someone a dob as well, or a dobber. I think grass is probably more related to crimes, and dob is probably a little bit more common when it comes to kids at school. Number 42, rather rude, to talk bollocks, or to talk utter bollocks. Now bollocks, again, this lesson seems to have a theme, is referring to a part of the male anatomy. And if you talk bollocks, then you are talking rubbish, and usually because you don't have much knowledge or information on the subject. In fact, Donald Trump is often talking a load of bollocks, and it is vulgar. It means testicles, guys. You can also say bollocks when you think something is rubbish or untrue. Similarly, you might say to somebody that they are talking out of their arse. And of course, if you can't already understand, this is rather rude and vulgar. If someone's talking out of their arse, then they are clearly not thinking with their head because it's coming out of there. Donald Trump frequently talks out of his arse when he's giving a press conference. Number 44, to have a chinwag, to have an informal chat, commonly used amongst ladies. We had a lovely lunch and a long chinwag. We had a lovely lunch and a great chinwag this afternoon. It was so nice catching up. Number 45, to talk cobblers. To talk cobblers. Not too bad here, not as bad as talking bollocks, so you could say to talk cobblers. To talk rubbish or nonsense. So really to not make a lot of sense, and again, probably because you don't have much information on the topic. I have never heard such a load of cobblers in my life. What was she talking about? 46, codswallop, you would say, what codswallop? Again, this is very British and not too rude, but still slang. Codswallop, again, it's nonsense, it's not true. Now, number 47, if someone likes to complain a lot and really just doesn't stop complaining, then you might say that they are going on about something. Oh, really? Stop going on about it. I know he was late last night, but it wasn't his fault. There was bad traffic. Number 48, when you want somebody to be quiet, to shut up and to stop talking, you could say, oh, put a sock in it. Put a sock in it, referring to put a sock in your mouth. Clearly, you won't actually do this, but basically you're asking someone to be quiet. Again, clearly very rude no matter how or where or why you say it. So for example, the kids might be asking for something, complaining about something, and you might say, "Come on, put a sock in it." And it is often used by parents with children. Number 49, to keep your hair on. Now there isn't any real reason that you would take your hair off, even if you do have a wig, but simply to keep your hair on means calm down. Don't get so overworked and stressed out about it. If someone is angry or agitated and they really need to calm themselves. Keep your hair on, Dad. I'm not staying out all night. I'll be home by 11:30. So there we have it. In fact, 49 phrases and expressions, and what I would like you to do is comment below and share a slang phrase that you know and love in English. And it doesn't matter if it's British or American English. Comment below and share your knowledge with the Love English community. And don't forget that 7-day free trial with Sensations English. Click below while there's still that free trial and test out their platform. See how many slang phrases, expressions, and idioms you can learn by reading and watching their content, as well as playing their games and doing the activities. Thank you so much for watching this rather mammoth lesson. It has been a bit of a marathon, but hopefully you've learnt a lot of new expressions and enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Bye.